Good afternoon. What a great day of trading we've had today. We caught our major markets perfectly. I had to lower the sell zone in the E-mini to make sure that we got in, but great day of trading. We did pretty well with our minor markets too. Okay, what I want to pay just structurally right here, here's the leg, so we're dealing with a part of a P, and we're dealing with perhaps either the 1850 area or the 1860 area is the bottom of the P. In fact, we can go as low as 43 and not really break anything. We have an attractor down here, depending on the time frame that you look at, anywhere from 38 to 42, so we'll just make it 40 plus or minus. Definitely want to sell into strength in the morning or the overnight session in Globex to see if we can take out today's low. Now tomorrow we'll have to see where the option play was today. We came in today with the option play at 70, 75, and then 90, 95. And obviously they took out the 70 level pretty handily. We'll see where the action is today. But there's a lot of money tied up in puts right here. So a close tomorrow in that 70-72 area would negate the losses that the market makers are facing in these particular puts. And we're not that far away from it right now with a trade at 67. So this screen, this cut tells us that we're sellers one time to see if we can take out today's lows. And if we can't, then we're going to play for option expiration trading range. Looking at the F2 screen, you'll see the single prints in the 70 area. And then you'll see that the spill was from 80 all the way down to 74. And so there's pretty good resistance above. And if we can stay below 70, and not get above that, this market is pointed lower. We get back up and get in that 75 area plus or minus. We're back to where we were on the F1 screen. Is the low of the P now in the 60 area, or is it in the 50 area? So that's what will unfold over the next couple of days. But we don't really have to know how it's going to unfold to prosper and profit from that. So trading is what it is. It's trading. It's taking advantage of where support and resistance lie, letting the market retest that if support and resistance holds, and you can join the buyers or sellers and see how far you go. These single prints right here at 70, 69 to 70, I think is pretty good resistance. So selling failure at 70 is the easiest trade to see. The next trade would be up here at 70, so selling 75. So selling 74s to 75s would be sell too. On the buy side, the last rotate down in M period stopped at 66. We've got all this volume at 65, so we're back to our 60-62 buy for buy 1, and then 55-57 for buy 2. If it weren't for option expiration, we would be much more aggressive on the sell side, but we don't. A lot of games played, and they generally freeze the market. They'll make the puts think they got a winner, then take it away from them. They'll make the calls think they have a winner, then take that away from them. But the first trade is going to be basically selling failure at 70 plus or minus 1, and then 75 plus or minus 1 for sell number 2. The market selling today was based strictly on fundamentals. The financial meme from February on has been, hey, don't worry about the economic growth in the first quarter. The winter's been so bad and so tough that people haven't got out and spend the money. They're going to break out and start spending in April, May, and June. We saw increased spending in March. April's been a disappointment. So we came in this morning on the note wanting to buy 13s to 17s. And the low is 12.5. And we had one sell out there that we would consider. Failure to take out 26, 28, this area right here. And that was resistance, so it's going to be pretty good support. For the overnight session, we're going to make a buy at 25 to 29, and then 21s to 17s. But we knocked the ball out of the park today on our call for buying 13s to 17s. There's your low at 12.5. Got an attractor up here at 7 to 8. Didn't quite make it. The high is 5. The day session closed at 29, so we're going to sell failure to take out the buck to 04. Might as well make it 05. And we'll see what develops overnight. After a strong day of buying like we had today, pause day would be what you would anticipate for tomorrow. So if we can't break it out, we'll probably come in the morning. We'll probably raise our sell area to 20 to 04 to 08. Play against that high volume area at 5 to 7, and then we'll see how deep the night session got, where our buys will be. But what a great day of trading. I mean, these are the days, and there's 3 or 4 days a month where you really have to maximize your trading profits. And I mean, you've got to read early in the session, and it stays with you pretty much the entire half of the session, and then after that the market moves into consolidation. And one of the faults, one of the things that you'll do to yourself as a beginning or novice trader is that, well, a normal day, I've got X amount of ticks, is what my methodology will throw off. And you'll limit yourself to those, and you'll make your business plan early only to see the market just explode where you could have made 4, 5, 6 times your business plan. And if you can catch a couple of days a month where, if you're averaging, say, making $200, where you can, come in and make $800, give or take, that makes a huge difference in your bottom line. It pretty much gets rid of all your stop outs when you're wrong. Is how it impacts the trading. So it's you just, on days that you can really read, it's where you pile it on, and that's where you can do no wrong. That's what the days you have to do. And as a beginning trader, you say, well, I made my business plan. I'm through. Okay, we're going to sell failure to take out 28 to the buck. We did get up. We did trade to 04. On the buy side, the last rotate down is 19. We're at 22. So our first buy is pretty aggressive. We're going to play for maybe some knob spread expansion. So we're going to try to buy 17s, but we may have to pay 21s. And then 9 to 13 playing for this breakout will be our buy 2. Jimmy, I had it at 24 on the day session close. Where did you come up with it? Yeah, I saw that it had come off of 12, or I made a big math error. One or the other. I'd like to buy this one at 17 or better. That's what I had to then, so that's where we are. Little profit taking. I mean, 12 is a fairly round number. I wouldn't be surprised to find people taking profits there. Seeing what, 2 days ago it was at 10.20. And you can see why the knob spread is so popular. I mean, when we get some volatility in the markets moving, it's pretty easy to make 500, 750 bucks over the course of a day. String 2 or 3 of those days together, you look pretty darn smart. Okay, this is gold. Looking at the longer-term charts, there's definitely a seller at 15. There's definitely a buyer at 85. Right now, the seller is from 2 to 5. So we'll make 1300, 1302, sell 1. And then we'll make 5 to 8, sell 2. On the buy side, we've got this break at 88, so we'll make 88 to 90 buy 1, maybe a little lower overnight. And then buy 2 will be in our 85 area, plus or minus. Now, 88 might be a little cute. The last rotate down stopped at 93, so depending on what happens in the overnight session, if the market trades up from here into the overnight session, then we're going to have to raise our buy up to 93, 95 as opposed to 90, basically plus or minus. The gold market worked well this morning. We came in and we caught it early. We had that 02 to 05 sell after we adjusted down for that quick move. We had a 94, 96 buy. The only way you could have bought it better than 94 was a resting limit buy. I had several opportunities to trade out at 94, 96 area up to 1300. So got enough volatility in gold where you don't have to be perfect. You don't have to catch it at the edges. You can still prosper. And our expected, we expect to make 40 to 50 ticks every time we put on a trade. Now we don't, but that's our expectation. And it happens often or not that when you get into trade, you ought to put your exit at 40 to 50 ticks away. Okay, crude oil sold. It's funny, China came out and blamed the United States for them going in and for the friction between China and the Philippines and China and South Vietnam. And they told the United States, if you weren't meddling in our affairs, these other countries wouldn't be putting up a fight against us. And, you know, don't go, well, duh. What the hell you expect? So what we have right now, because of the feckless administration and their policy of collapse and run, is that anybody that has any aims outside of their borders are going to grab as much as they can, as fast as they can for the next couple of years. And they're not going to be stopped. And if you had eyes on something across the fence that you wanted for a long time and the United States is looking the other way, I mean, you'd be tempted to do it too. And that's what's happening right now. So, but I love that China comes out and says, it's your fault, United States. It's kind of like, he hit me back first. Anyway, we had an attractor at 101.32. The market was pulled to that and it held. This morning started out, we wanted to sell 2 1/4 to 250. The high was 26 and we had a buy at 101.50 to 75. And it took a long time to get down to this high volume number. So right now it's a B pattern, maybe a little lower. I don't think anybody will go into the weekend short, so I would like to buy into weakness in anticipation of the chance for increased hostilities in the South China Seas or between Russia and the Ukraine. I think a deadline was given today, and I forgot what it was, to get out of Donetsk, if I'm pronouncing it correctly. Donetsk. I've heard it several ways. So I don't think anybody will really be heavy short in crude oil going home over the weekend. I'm not afraid to sell it, so 101.75 to 102 will be sell one. Especially if nothing happens overnight, then 25 to 52 will be sell 2. But crude's the first place you see the drumbeat of war, or hear them. Okay, the euro came up, and it came up off the fundamentals. Our economic news was weaker than forecast for the most part this morning. The first piece of news that hit was jobless claims. It took the financials, the euro, and gold lower, and then as the rest of the news came in during the day, the euro rallied because the United States economy was softer than people thought. And what that means, the relationship between the currencies is that on a relative basis, the euro, they'll be printing less money, or maybe printing less money, buy the euro, sell the dollar. That's how these guys, I mean, as a trader, you don't really have to get any deeper into it than that. I mean, you want to boil all this down. Now, we've talked about this, whoops. Anyway, this 3750 is pretty important resistance. And then we had this M period high that they got stops above. So this anywhere from 30 to 50 is pretty stout resistance, and that's an area that we really want to get short in to retest the low down there at 136.50. The European Central Bank wants this currency lower. They will do nothing to talk it up. So if we catch a couple of news items that are favor a lower euro, it'll sell, and nobody will get in the way. We've got this last rotate down that stopped at 95. We're at 37.10. We had a breakout from 75. So we'll make 75.85 buy one. And then we'll make 50 to 60 buy two. On the sell side, we'll want to sell 20s to 30s. Then 40s to 50. Tomorrow's news, housing starts, permits, and Michigan sentiment will impact the market. The housing news will be discounted. We'll probably get more of a rise out of Michigan sentiment because the stock market has been high. It's probably a pretty good number. Which might help take the euro down and strengthen the E-mini up into option expiration. That's all I have today, folks. We had a fabulous trading day, lots of opportunities. I hope you found a way to take the trades. We had it nailed from the get-go, had trending markets. You just want to join the flow and see how big a ride you get, and you need a couple of days like this each month to prosper. See y'all bright and early tomorrow, 6:45 Central Time. Have a great evening. We're still cooler than normal here, so I'll be wearing a sweater or a sweatshirt when I go out tonight. Until then.